So one of the things that I'm thinking about the reaction that I've got bringing up the spiritual and the spiritual feeling is just a realization that I am disappointed with your introspection, and I think there's some basic methodologies that you should, in my opinion, see as empirical and straightforward. Okay, how do you look inside? Um, you could say that it's impossible to turn and face yourself, but there still are techniques, to suss out what's going on with you. And there's really just this a basic technique that I have been relying on in my description of spirituality, as if you would understand this. But I think maybe the thing is that a lot of people do this. So to me, it looks like they know what they're doing, but in reality, people have sort of figured out that they can do this when the stakes are high or something. But basically, it's this: if you want to wrestle and understand any emotion, um, what you first have to do is learn how to recognize that feeling. And then you have to look at what experiences you were having while you had it. If you were feeling stressed, you want to figure out what's causing stress, you have to look at the specific experiences and not necessarily make excuses and just focus on certain ones, but really recognize the feeling. Go, oh, I also feel stressed here, because you're looking for clues, right? Not just the mainstream or the obvious, but clues sometimes. If you wanted to understand your relationship with hunger and how hunger was affecting you and your sense of appetite, you have to look and find out, oh, whenever I'm depressed, I want to eat. And then you would find out. Or if you wonder about, maybe you've been confused by love. Who hasn't? So you want to understand, well, what is it doing to me? Well, when you feel these attractions, these sexual or other kinds of love attraction, then you pay attention to what's going on at the time. You could see, oh, every time there's this type of girl, I feel like she's the one, and I fall in love. And you can learn about your type. You can see what the systematics are with that emotion, and subtract those out and find out what the emotion is really doing for you. And you might find out that, like, based on your metabolism, in my case, I think my sense of hunger is too weak, and I need to pump it up and pay attention to it sensitively. Other people, it goes crazy. Other people, it would be fine, except for it's triggered by some other emotional state. And this is how we introspect. This is the general practice. Like, if you're not good at looking at your own feelings and feeling how paying attention to how you feel, then the way to draw yourself into it, and your conscious mind at least, is to try to catalog when you feel that way. Now, at first, you won't recognize the feeling, too much. You'll confuse it with some other kinds of feelings you have. But as you keep track of the experiences you're having, you will tend to be able to sort that out and go, oh, that's actually two or three different kinds of experiences. You know what? When I think about this one, I actually feel this other way. And so you can narrow in on the kinds of experiences that are really, you know, giving you the feeling that you're looking into, right? And this is what you have to do, and then you will zero in. And as you do this, you will also get more experience telling one emotional state from another, right? And I get the sense that some of these emotions can almost be pure, but they never really usually come to us pure. We're like parallel processing machines, and we have recipes, but there's still techniques to figure out which are sort of the fundamental ingredients. Even though the ingredients are used over and over, and one recipe can seem quite different from another, even if sometimes it's just one or two ingredients. Emotional ingredients are different, right? So, I mean, this is how you will find out about anything. You know, you can look at what disgusts you, and you will learn about disgust and about yourself and your own nature. And you find out that everybody's emotions, while the feeling is similar and is physiological effects will be similar. People report it similarly in language. They can be caused by very different things. Just like one person being sexually attracted to, this person, and this person not being attracted to them, but being attracted to someone else. So most emotions come out this way. And so there's a personal aspect where you have to take this accounting to yourself. And I mean, I think it might interfere with your life to do this literally, but it's just like when if someone is trying to make sense of their own dreams and wants to remember their dreams, and so they can think about them and whatnot and see what there is to learn from them, or just enjoy them by maintaining a memory of them. You keep a dream journal when it's fresh. So to keep an emotional log, it's when you have a certain emotion. I feel really that down feeling today. You can write down, a log of what was going on at the time. And you will slowly find out, is it the thing before, is it the thing during? And I would say it's actually, people think of their feelings as caused and result and happening after, but what's most important is what's going on while you're still feeling that way. That's the most informative thing. And this is just a skill and a practice that I think everybody should get, and it should be considered empirical. It's just like um, if you want to study the weather, you wake up and you look at the weather. You have an experience of the weather. It's like a feeling, it's a visual impression of the weather, and you write down what it was. And then later you can pore over that data in various states of mind and sort of triangulate and get a rational view of the data where you can measure, oh, look, it rain, 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 and you can notice the seasons, you can notice if the seasons are changing, and a lot of detail. Well, emotions are a lot like weather, and if you take that approach, you will learn about your state of mind and how your emotions interact and what environmental things seem to impact them. And you won't learn every detail about it, but you'll certainly learn a lot. And you can learn a lot this way about what spirituality is. That's my premise. A lot more than we know now, since we seem to be almost totally clueless about what it really means. Go look up the definition of spiritual in online dictionaries or a printed dictionary, and you will find a bunch of bullshit that has to do with institutions that have taken over our idea of spirituality, right? And I do think it has something to do with feeling that you are taking the role in the universe that you must take. That feels good spiritually. And if you feel like you're not doing that, it seems like it subverts your sense of worth and propriety in the universe, and causes an emotional dysfunction, like often happens if you just out and out deny. You can wrestle your emotion. You can you can guide your hunger so it leads you to nutrition instead of gluttony or ill health practices. I believe in principle. You can do that, but you can't deny it. You can't just deny emotions. If you deny emotions, they almost always will will subvert themselves into some destructive purpose. And and I think we need this feeling of spirituality, whatever it is, um, in order to in order to want to live.